Ever feel like space is just too big?
Yeah.
Like too big to even really think about.
Yeah, it's really hard to wrap your head around.
Today we're diving into the vastness of the universe.
Okay.
We're using this article from NASA. It's called Astronomy and Astrophysics 101. What is a light year?
Sounds good.
It was published December 15th, 2024.
All right.
And it's going to help us explore just how far apart things are out in space,
Right.
but also what those distances actually mean for us
Right.
as we try to understand and explore the cosmos.
Absolutely.
So the article starts with this concept of a light year.
Okay.
We're talking about light itself, and I think we all kind of know.
Yeah.
Light is insanely fast.
Right. That's
186,000 miles per second.
It's hard to even imagine that speed.
I know.
Like in 1 second, light could circle the entire Earth 7.5 times.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
It's mind-boggling, and that's the speed that we use
Right.
to measure the unbelievably huge distances in space.
So a light year isn't actually a measure of time.
No, it's not.
It's a measure of distance.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's the distance.
It's the distance light travels in 1 year.
Okay.
And that works out to be a truly mind-blowing 5.88 trillion miles.
5.88 trillion miles.
Just to try and give you some perspective.
Okay, yeah.
If you were driving at highway speed, let's say 60 miles per hour,
Yeah.
it would take you over 600,000 years to cover that distance.
600,000
That
years.
really puts things into perspective.
Okay, so we've got to bring it a little closer to home for just a second.
Okay.
To our own solar system.
Yeah.
Even within our solar system, the distances are still...
Oh, they're immense.
Right.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
huge.
For example, did you know that sunlight takes about 43 minutes to reach Jupiter?
43 minutes.
Yeah, so that's almost an hour for light
Right.
to travel within our own solar system.
And Jupiter's not even that far away
Well,
in the grand scheme of things, right?
it's 484 million miles away.
Yeah.
But still, when you think about it in those terms,
Yeah, you really start to realize how much empty space there is.
Oh, yeah.
Even just right here in our neighborhood.
absolutely. And it just gets more and more extreme
Right.
when you start to consider the edge of our solar system,
Okay, so the edge of the solar system.
the Oort cloud. It's so far out
Okay.
that it would take light nearly 2 years to reach it. 2 years
yeah.
at the speed of light,
At the speed of light.
which is just phenomenal.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
And speaking of time,
Yeah.
it always blows my mind that we are about 8 light minutes from the sun.
It's a really interesting concept
Right.
because that means that if the sun suddenly vanished, poof, disappeared,
Ooh.
we would have absolutely no idea for 8 whole minutes.
We would just be going about our day.
Yeah. Totally oblivious
Completely
to
oblivion.
this, major cosmic drama unfolding.
It would be lights out and we wouldn't even know.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've got our local neighborhood.
Yeah.
We've talked about our solar system a little bit. But what happens when we zoom out
Okay.
to the Milky Way galaxy, our galactic home?
Okay, now we're getting into the truly vast scales
Right.
of the universe.
How big are we talking here?
Well, the Milky Way is estimated to be 100,000 light years across.
100,000 light years.
Just imagine it takes light 100,000 years
Right?
to travel from one side of our galaxy to the other.
Okay, my mind is officially starting to melt.
I know, right?
100,000 years.
It's incredible.
And how many stars are we talking about in this enormous space?
Hundreds of billions.
Hundreds of billions.
And here's the real mind-blowing part.
Okay.
The Milky Way is just one
Oh, boy.
of trillions of galaxies.
Trillions.
Trillions.
Okay, hold on. We need to take a pause for a second.
Yeah.
Because that is just a lot to process.
It really is.
Trillions of galaxies.
Just to try and help you visualize that.
Okay, yeah, I need help.
Imagine if our sun
Okay.
was the size of a grain of sand.
Okay.
The Milky Way galaxy would be as big as North America.
As big as North America?
And then you have to multiply that by trillions
Yeah.
to account for all the other galaxies out there.
Okay, I officially can't even...
It's almost impossible to fathom.
So in this just massive cosmic ocean of stars and galaxies,
Yeah.
how many other planets might be out there?
Right.
You know, the article mentioned NASA's Kepler mission
Oh, yeah.
and the data that it's collected. So what did we learn from that?
Kepler really revolutionized our understanding of planets beyond our solar system.
Okay.
Exoplanets. And the data suggests that almost every single star
Wow.
we see in the night sky likely has at least one planet orbiting it.
So there are as many planets as there are stars.
Potentially, yeah.
That's an insane thought.
It is. And then when you consider that many stars have multiple planets orbiting them,
Right.
the total number of planets in our galaxy alone could easily reach into the trillions
Trillions of planets.
of planets.
And we're just starting to figure out our own little corner of space.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
It's mind-blowing.
It really puts things into perspective.
It really does.
With that many planets out there, the
Right.
possibility of other worlds,
Yeah.
perhaps even worlds with conditions suitable for life,
Right.
becomes much more intriguing.
Okay, so let's dive into some of these exoplanet discoveries.
Okay, sounds good.
Where do we even start with trillions of possibilities?
Well, why don't we start relatively close to home?
Okay.
The closest known exoplanet to our solar system
All right.
is called Proxima Centauri b.
Proxima Centauri b.
It orbits a red dwarf star just over 4 light years away.
Proxima Centauri b. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it made headlines a few years ago.
It did, didn't it?
I did.
Everyone's really excited about the prospect of a planet so close.
Yeah.
Like almost a next-door neighbor.
A next-door neighbor on a galactic scale.
Right.
Exactly.
So we're talking about a planet
Yeah,
that's orbiting a star in our cosmic backyard.
exactly.
Wow.
But keep in mind that while it's relatively close in astronomical terms,
Hmm.
it's still incredibly far away, about 24 trillion miles.
So a weekend trip is out of the question.
Yeah, I think so.
Barn.
Even if we could travel at the speed of light,
Okay.
it would still take us over 4 years to get there.
And we can't travel at the speed of light.
Right, that's a big problem.
Okay, so it's 4 light years away.
Yeah,
And even if we could reach a fraction of that speed, let's just say 1%,
okay.
which I'm guessing is a technological challenge,
Huge technological challenge.
it would still take us over 400 years.
It would.
So this is a journey.
It's a journey for future generations, not for us.
Right, not for us.
But I guess the amazing thing is that there's a planet orbiting the very next star over.
That is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a planet right next door.
Yeah.
And I remember another discovery that really caught everyone's attention.
Oh, yeah, which one?
The TRAPPIST-1 system, right.
Oh, yes.
This is the one that had multiple Earth-sized planets.
Yes, you're remembering correctly.
Okay, good.
The TRAPPIST-1 system is fascinating.
Oh.
It's about 40 light years away.
Okay.
And it has not 1,
Okay.
not 2,
All right.
but 7 planets,
7 planets.
all roughly the size of Earth.
That's crazy. And what makes it even more intriguing
Yeah, what's that?
is that 4 of these planets are located
Yes.
in the habitable zone.
Yes, the habitable zone.
What does that mean?
Okay, so the habitable zone is the range of distances from a star
Okay.
where the temperature is just right
Just right for
liquid water
liquid
to
water.
exist on the surface of a planet.
Okay.
So not too hot to boil it all away.
Yeah.
Not too cold that it's just frozen solid.
And liquid water is kind of a big deal, right?
Oh, it's huge.
Because we think of it as essential for life as we know it.
Exactly. So these 4 planets in the TRAPPIST-1 system,
Right.
with their potential for liquid water,
Right.
have sparked a ton of interest
Right.
in the search for life beyond Earth.
Okay, so we're talking about 4 potentially habitable planets
Yes,
in a single system. That's pretty remarkable.
it is.
Are there any other interesting things about TRAPPIST-1 we should know?
Well, one really interesting thing is that the star at the center of the TRAPPIST-1 system
Okay.
is a red dwarf star, which is much smaller and cooler than our sun.
So these planets are huddled much closer to
Yeah.
their star,
Yeah, they orbit much closer than the Earth orbits the sun.
just to stay warm enough
Yeah,
to
exactly.
have that liquid water.
That's pretty amazing.
Okay, so we've got a potentially habitable planet right next door,
Yeah.
relatively speaking.
Relatively speaking.
And then we've got a system with multiple potentially habitable worlds
Yeah.
a bit further out.
Where do we go from here?
Right, where do we go?
Well, the article mentions one more fascinating exoplanet
Okay,
that I think is worth talking about.
cut me.
Kepler 443b.
Kepler 443b.
Yeah.
Okay, what's so special about this one?
Distance, this one is much, much farther away.
Okay.
So far that it would take us 3,000 years to reach it.
3,000
Even if we were traveling at the speed of light.
3,000 years.
3,000 years.
Wow, that makes the 400-year trip to TRAPPIST-1 look like nothing.
I know, right? They go walk around the block.
Exactly.
So what's even the point of talking about a planet that's that far away?
Well, it really highlights the challenges and limitations
Yeah.
that we face when it comes to interstellar travel.
Okay.
It makes you think about what might be possible for future generations.
Okay, so Kepler 443b is more of a thought experiment
Yeah, I think for us it is.
than a realistic destination.
Yeah, but it's a really good reminder that the universe is vast.
Right.
beyond anything that we can really, truly comprehend.
Yeah, it's too big.
And that there are countless worlds out there,
Yeah.
many of which we may never be able to visit.
It's a humbling thought,
It is.
but also kind of exciting.
It is exciting.
Like, in a way,
Yeah,
it makes you realize just how much we still have to explore and discover
exactly.
and how much we don't know.
And that raises some really interesting questions.
Okay, like what? About the future of space exploration.
Okay.
You know, if we can't travel to these distant worlds ourselves, what other options that we have?
That is a great question.
Yeah.
And one that I'm sure we'll dive into a little bit more
Oh, yeah.
as we continue our deep dive into the vastness of space.
Absolutely.
Woo!
Can't wait. Thinking about those distances and those timescales,
Yeah.
it really makes you wonder
It does.
about what's possible
Right.
for humans, when it
Yeah.
comes to exploring other star systems.
It's like it seems impossible.
Yeah.
But are there any realistic possibilities? Like, where do we even begin?
Well, the limitations that we face right now might seem really insurmountable,
Yeah.
but history has kind of shown us
Okay.
that technology can
Yeah.
often overcome things that seem impossible.
So we need to be thinking outside the box
Oh, yeah.
when it comes to space travel.
Absolutely.
What kind of outside the box ideas are we talking about?
One of the main things we need to focus on is propulsion systems. How do we get from point A to point B
Yeah.
more efficiently?
More faster.
Faster.
Yeah.
Even a small increase in speed
Yeah.
could drastically reduce travel times
Okay.
to these far-off star systems.
So if we could even get to like a fraction of the speed of light,
Oh, yeah.
that would be revolutionary.
It would be game-changing.
Right.
Absolutely.
But even if we could figure out how to travel that fast,
Okay.
what about the human element?
Right.
Can people even survive?
That's a crucial question,
Yeah.
and it's one that researchers are working on.
Okay.
We may need to think about things like suspended animation.
What is suspended animation?
So it's this idea where bodily functions are basically slowed down,
Okay.
almost to a standstill.
Like putting humans on pause?
Yeah, essentially.
So they don't age
Yeah.
during these long journeys?
It sounds like science fiction,
It does.
but it's something that scientists are actively exploring.
Wow. Okay, so imagine waking up after like hundreds of years, arriving at a new star system.
I know.
It's pretty mind-boggling.
It's wild.
Another possibility that we've heard about
Yeah.
is this idea of generational ships.
Yes. Generational ships.
So these are those massive vessels
Yeah.
where multiple generations of humans
live and die
live and die on board
the ship.
before ever reaching their destination.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
It's like a self-sustaining world
Yeah.
traveling through interstellar space.
A community of people
Yeah.
on a multi-generational journey.
It really stretches the boundaries of what we think is possible.
It's amazing and kind of daunting.
It is, right?
It's hard to even picture what that would actually look like.
I know.
But even if we ignore the engineering challenges,
Okay.
wouldn't there be some ethical issues
Oh, absolutely.
with sending generations of humans
Yeah.
on a one-way trip?
Yeah, you're raising a very important point.
Right.
There are definitely ethical considerations
Yeah.
we have to think about.
So, like, what is it justifiable
Right.
to basically send future generations
Yeah.
to a life confined within a spaceship
Yeah,
without them ever having the choice to
Right.
go back to Earth?
exactly. And it also makes you think about the potential impact
Okay.
on the mental and social well-being
Okay, yeah.
of those
Yeah.
generations of people who were born and raised
Right.
in this very unique environment.
It's like they wouldn't even know what Earth is.
Yeah.
Really?
And what about things like cultural drift
Okay.
or even evolution
Yeah.
over multiple generations
Right.
in an enclosed environment like that?
So would those people
Right.
arriving at their destination
Yeah.
even still be considered human?
It's a big question.
Yeah.
We don't know the answer.
Right.
Yeah.
In the same way as those who stayed on Earth.
These are complex issues
Yeah.
that we really need to think through carefully.
It's fascinating how space exploration makes us think about these really deep philosophical questions. We're talking about the very definition of humanity
Yeah.
and our place in the cosmos.
That's the beauty of science.
Yeah.
It's always pushing us to learn and discover,
Yeah.
not just about the physical world,
Yeah.
but about ourselves.
About what it means to be human. It
Exactly.
makes us kind of reevaluate our understanding of everything.
It's true.
So as we're thinking about reaching for the stars,
Okay.
we have to be mindful
Yeah.
of the human cost
Absolutely.
and the ethical implications of
Right.
these endeavors.
Yeah. Totally agree with you.
So what do you think, listener?
Yeah.
Do the rewards
Right.
with interstellar exploration
Yeah.
outweigh the risks
It's a big question.
and the ethical dilemmas?
Something to think about, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Absolutely.
But it's important to think about the consequences of our actions.
Well, yeah.
Especially when we're talking about something as big as interstellar travel. But let's dream for a second.
Okay.
If you could go anywhere in the universe, where would you go?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I think I've always been really captivated by the TRAPPIST-1 system.
Okay.
I mean, can you imagine
Yeah.
seeing those 7 Earth-sized planets firsthand?
Right?
Exploring their environments,
Yeah.
searching for signs of life.
7 planets to explore.
I know.
What about you, listener?
Yeah.
Would you want to go to a place
Yeah.
that kind of looks like Earth?
Yeah.
Or would you want to explore something
Yeah.
totally different?
Something we've never even imagined.
Yeah, something totally alien.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what's out there?
Exactly. Even if none of those planets in TRAPPIST-1
Right.
turn out to be a perfect Earth 2.0,
Okay.
the potential for discovery is immense.
Yeah. And maybe we'd find life as we don't even know it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling to think about.
It's so cool.
It is. And I think that's really what it all comes down to.
Okay.
It's that drive to explore, to learn to understand,
Right.
to try and answer these big questions about the universe.
Yeah.
Even if we never actually physically go to these distant worlds,
Yeah.
the pursuit of knowledge is a worthy endeavor in and of itself.
It's crazy to think that just a few hundred years ago, we didn't even know other galaxies existed.
I know, it's wild.
And now we're talking about potentially habitable planets around other stars.
And how to get to them.
Yeah, and the challenges of actually reaching those planets
It's amazing how much our understanding of the universe has changed.
in such a short amount of time.
It really is.
So as we're wrapping up our deep dive into the vastness of space, what's the one big takeaway for our listeners today?
I think the most important thing to remember is perspective.
Okay.
When you really think about the scale of the universe,
Yeah.
it puts things into perspective.
It makes our problems seem small.
Exactly.
It's a humbling experience
It really is.
to realize how tiny we are
Yeah.
in this massive universe.
But it's also inspiring.
It is. It's like that Carl Sagan quote.
Oh, yeah.
We are a way for the universe to know itself.
I love that quote.
It's so good.
It's so true.
We're these little tiny specks in this huge cosmic ocean.
But we have this amazing ability
Right.
to explore and understand the universe around us.
And every time we learn something new,
Yeah.
every new discovery.
It adds to that understanding.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's this journey we've been on for so long.
A millennia.
And it's not over.
Never over.
And as we continue on this journey,
Yeah.
I think it's important to remember
Okay.
that the universe is full of wonders,
It is.
both near and far.
Absolutely.
So even as we're dreaming of traveling to those distant stars,
Yeah.
there's still so much to explore
I know.
right here in our solar system.
Right in our own backyard.
Yeah.
Tons of mysteries and marvels.
So to our listener,
Yes.
the next time you're looking up at the night sky,
Okay.
take a moment
Yeah.
to think about that vastness.
The immensity of it all.
Every star you see is a sun,
With its own planets.
potentially with planets
Yeah.
orbiting it.
And who knows what secrets those planets hold.
Yeah.
It's exciting to think about.
It's mind-blowing.
It is.
And maybe someday
Yeah.
we'll have the technology to travel to those worlds
I hope so.
and see them for ourselves.
That would be incredible.
But until then,
Yeah.
keep looking up
Yes.
and keep wondering.
And keep exploring.
That's it for this deep dive into the vastness of space.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
We'll see you next time.